Hey there, folks. This is Lucifer League of Warden coming back at you with a bit of a breaking story that I just heard about, and it strikes very close to home with me. As everybody knows, I am a Satanist, and I try to practice my beliefs peacefully. My home, I am working on turning into a black house, which in Satanism is well known because that is what Anton LaVey had and is currently owned in a different sense by the head of the Church Satan. In a related but different story that is now breaking, a U.S. military soldier named Ethan Meltzer has betrayed the United States by plotting with a known hate group and terrorist organization, international terrorist organization, Order of the Nine Angles, to attack and kill his unit. What I've just been reading, he was planning on doing this in Turkey. He was planning on being killed with his unit, so we wouldn't know his betrayal at that point, but he was busted in it. Who are Order of the Nine Angles? Well, this strikes very close to home for me as a Satanist. They are a known radical, violent, dangerous satanic organization built off of a guy who calls himself Anton Long's writings, but his name was David Miat, who he himself converted to Islam several years back and became friends with people the likes of which Osama bin Laden and various other ISIS members and whatnot. David Miat still resides in the UK and is still very much so alive. He's a very radical individual and writer and whatnot. But he now says that he didn't have anything to do with O9A when it was formed, and there's no way to prove whether or not he was or wasn't. There's articles that identify him as the individual known as Anton Long. Now, who was Anton Long? Anton Long was the author of several Order of the Nine Angles books, their versions of the Satanic Bible and whatnot. That is very heavily based, just like most other Satanism, on the structure of Anton LaVey. He took the name Anton Long in an attempt to confuse people, to make them think that he was the Anton LaVey or the Black Pope way back when. Order in the Nine Angles does not represent Satanism, actual, factual Satanism, especially here in the United States. A few years back in the late 2000s, early 2000s, like 2009 to 2011, there was an upstart group here online in the United States called White Star Acceptance 352. And they also identified themselves as being O9A, or Order of the Nine Angles, a Nexian splinter group of Order of the Nine Angles. Any Satanist who was around during that early time, this was before Satanic Temple came into being. This was early 2010s. This was late 2000s. That the White Star Acceptance was a big online presence, forming group. They're still around, but just barely. And that they're all but defunct. Well, I thought so anyways. I'm going to say this. Last week I had a commenter who got in touch with me on a very delicate topic and he knows who he is. He's going to watch this video, I know he is, and he's going to be commenting, but I'm not going to name him in the video without his permission. But he got a hold of me last week, and he was talking to me about a problem that he had in his local area about a young lady who is going to be sacrificed and yeah, he was originally thinking it was Temple of Set. Sorry, I was reading something unrelated there. He was originally thinking it was Temple of Set, and he got a hold of me about them. When I told him that Temple of Set is actually a very peaceful organization, just like most other satanic groups, I mentioned Order of the Nine Angles, and he started looking it up, and he's like, that's the symbol I'm seeing. So, you know, part of me always wanted to be like, oh, it's possible that these guys are gaining power and whatnot. But I completely, you know, I was like, you know, send me information, send me pictures and whatnot. And I haven't heard from him in a while, so I assume things have been going down this weekend. He's been trying to stop this from going on there. This story, though, validates his story, and it's something we, as not just Satanists in the satanic community, but as people in general, need to be aware of. Order of the Nine Angles is the iconic horror movie satanic organization. They are not only a supremacist group that is violent, they are a satanic organization. Their imagery, their iconography, their very literature is dangerous rhetoric. It is violent. It speaks of human sacrifice and culling, which anybody who knows anything about American, proper Satanism that spawns from Anton LaVey, and that sort of lineage, and especially American Satanism, knows that it's not violent at all. We're not going to hurt anybody. We're not going to go out and put a person on the altar and cut their heart out. No. Any blood that is shed is voluntary, and basically a little pinprick on a finger. Wicca does the same thing. Most American pagan organizations and religions do the same thing. But Order of the Nine Angles is one of those groups that is vastly different. And it's always been something that I've always had in the back of my head on, because their literature is freely sold here in the United States via Lulu. Lulu is a self-publishing site, and O9A literature is all over it. It is literally all over it, and no one is stopping it, because no one understands the danger of this organization. This is one of those organizations, when I hear of Christians talking about Satanists committing human sacrifices and doing all this other stuff, this is the organization that I want to say that they're talking about, that they hear about. Because it's not a normal Satanist, but because no one really understands what our type of Satanism is, what real Satanism is, and Satanic Temple is only confounding the matter even further, and Church Satan doesn't really want to step up any further and speak up about things. The whole situation gets muddled. I commend Satanic Temple for getting themselves out in the media and showing one aspect of Satanism, but it's not exactly the correct aspects. They're definitely shedding a more positive light on it, but they're still not representing what true Satanism is. They're using it as a political shock and awe, whereas real Satanism is a religion. Order of the Nine Angles, though, they don't care about being in the media. They don't want you to know too much about them, even though their literature is everywhere. and you can easily get a hold of it. Go to lulu.com, go on Amazon. You can buy their literature on Amazon. Literally, not joking. Like I think their primary book is called The Black Book of Satan, and it's it's their version of the Satanic Bible. You can get it in PDF format, ebook format, or even in hard copy format, and a lot of people have. And they've taken this and they've moved it in a completely different venue, and they are violent. When I was creating a website on the old Ning page, where you could actually back then formulate your own social media group, your own like MySpace or whatnot. There was a group called My Satan, and it was really popular back then. And it was the big social media network site for Satanists back then. And WSA 352 was all over it. Well, they approached me, and they were trying to be all nicey, and then she posts on my site a culling event that was supposed to happen over in Vietnam, and this is a big international organization, O9A, and yeah, I immediately took it to the police and told them about it, and they were trying to track this girl and her group, and it was a big mess. It really was. Nothing ever came of it. The post was taken down. A police report was filed, and that was about it. I did eventually follow up. I had written down some details of it, and I did follow up, and sure enough, the village that they had been talking about at a set of coordinates on the date was attacked, and everybody was slaughtered in that village. And I'm like, holy shit, this is for real. This is a real group. These guys are actually out there doing this stuff. And what she had posted on my page was just too horrible to even go into detail. I mean, it was talking about mass murder and raping young underagers, and it really upset me, because that's not what we're about. That's not what Satanists are about. So this is a breaking story that's been in the New York Times and all over the news. I just heard about it, and I know a lot of people are going to hear about it. Anybody who's a Satanist and they recognize the name Order of the Nine Angles, they're mispronouncing them in the news, calling it Order of the Nine Angels. It's not Order of the Nine Angels. It's Order of the Nine Angles, or O9A, or O9A. And this is a group that is very dangerous, and they're just calling them white supremacists or occult-based white supremacists. They have not dropped the Satanism part yet, and I'm waiting for that shoe to drop, because the moment they drop that, it's going to be an all unholy mess for people like me. So I'm putting it out there right now. Order of the Nine Angles is a dangerous group. They are not affiliated with organizations like Satanic Temple, Church of Satan, Temple of Set, or any other mainstream American satanic organization. We don't go hurting people. We don't believe in hurting people. Our various organizations in the past have actually reported people to the police for trying to do that sort of thing. Church of Satan in particular, a long while back, a young man had written, a young military officer, ironically enough, had written Church of Satan saying that he was ready to devote his life to Satan and to kill people. And much to Peter H. Gilmore's credit, I don't get along with the man personally, but much to his credit, he immediately took the letter to the authorities and reported the individual, and the individual was taken into custody. So we don't go for that sort of thing. We don't go for that sort of behavior, and I think it's important for the various satanic organizations out there, in light of this particular thing and in light of the overall social system going on out there, to make it very well known and publicly announce that these guys have nothing to do with us as an organization, as a religion, or anything else. We don't condone it. That's where I'm going to leave it for now. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. Again, the group is called O9A, or O9A, also known as Order of the Nine Angles. Like I said before, the media is calling it Order of the Nine Angels, but it's not angels. They are not a Christian group. They're not a good group. It is angles. So drop me a comment in the comment down below and tell me what you think of all this. Have you had recent encounters with O9A that I haven't heard about? Have you heard about them on the internet recently? If so, this is something that we need to get known and out there, that this dangerous organization that is a satanic organization is building up power, building up strength, and trying to do stupid shit like this, and we need to put the kibosh to them pretty damn quickly, for everybody's sake, including other Satanists' sake, who are actually peaceful and have nothing to do with that sort of behavior. Thank you all. Please definitely share this video. It's the best thing you can actually do to help me out. Tell your friends, tell your family about my videos, about this video, and share it with them so that they know. One of the things that I wanted to do all this time on my channel is to teach people about Satanism, so they don't have to be so scared of it or misunderstanding of it. Until next time, like, share, subscribe. You know the routine. Hit that bell notification while you're at it. That way you know whenever another video of mine is coming up. And I will see you next time. This is Lucifer Lake Warden, YouTube's favorite ranting Satanist, and I'm out of here.